All right, what's up, YouTube? We're back with another journal recap. It's been a little minute. Had some complicated last couple weeks, but all right, we're going over inversion concepts, specifically fair value gaps. So we're gonna go over the 4 hour chart. Let me get it up here. All right, there we go. 4 hour chart. So today my bias was bearish. So we had this buy side sweep of liquidity, which is a previous day high. The reason there's a T is it's Thursday's previous day high from last week. We come up, we sweep it, displacement down into this bullish 4 hour gap. Now the reason I'm bearish, even though we're trading inside this 4 hour bullish gap here, is because we're delivering from sell side and we're doing it with speed. So I'm paying attention to that, and I'm looking at this 4 hour intermediate term low, which is just a low that rebalanced back to this 4 hour here. So I'm paying attention to that. So 1 hour chart, you can see we're disrespecting all this bullish price. Bullish fair value gaps are getting ran through again with that same speed. Zooming in even more, we have this 15-minute, we're on the 15-minute chart. We have this 15-minute bearish fair value gap. There's a high, there's a low. It's really a suspension block, but we're just going to call it a fair value gap for simplicity's sake. So price reaches up into that. And then 1 minute execution. So we have minor buy side. Price gets swept right here, this manipulation leg to take out this liquidity here. The highest time frame fair value gap is the 1 minute. So I'm using that as an inversion. If there was a 2 minute, I use a 2 minute. If it was a 3 minute, and all the way up to the 5 minute. So using those concepts. So price gets below here. This should have been my entry. Now you're gonna see in the video, I didn't get that entry. I actually got in at the change in the state down here because I was not paying attention. I'm not gonna lie, I was not paying attention. So changing the state here, risk above here, and then we're gonna skip. We're gonna come back to this slide real quick, and then I was looking for this low down here. So yeah, so what happened here was I was looking for a break even point. So this is a little extra context. I was trying to go break even here at this low, but the thing with high resistance liquidity days, for me, it's easier for me to not go break even as quickly because high resistance liquidity days, obviously you're trading, the candles are trading inside the same range, right? You might get a displacement candle like this, and then it goes down and then comes back up again. So on days where I'm anticipating high resistance liquidity, like morning before FOMC, like this morning, or like yesterday was a day where we had the contract rollovers, so stuff like that, I'm expecting high resistance liquidity. I have to be more patient with the break even. So I was trying to find a good break even. At first I was going to go here. You're going to see in the clip, I actually didn't. I waited till we actually had a lot of displacement working lower. And I think the best answer for a high resistance liquidity and how you're going to handle that to be safe is you're just going to de-risk. Just de-risk. Now, today was a paper trade. I did not trade live today on my live account, but that is something I would keep in consideration on a normal day. I'm just going to de-risk. So if I normally go in 4 or 5 contracts on the micro, I'm going to do 2 to 3 max, and 3 is kind of pushing it. So here's a whole trade, and you can see the high resistance liquidity that I was talking about now. Here's a change of the state I get inside of. Price kind of works around, big displacement up, works down, comes up again, takes out this high. Now you're going to notice high resistance liquidity. They love to chop. So what they do is come up, come down, take out sell side, come back up, take out buy side, and then the real run happens. Happens all the time. That's all I was watching yesterday during the contract rollover. And I used that today to catch around 77 points on a morning before FOMC. It's not too bad. I caught a really nice portion of the move. So with that being said, guys, thank you for watching. It's going to be a quick one today. Not much to go over. Very simple trade, very easy trade concept-wise. Obviously, the trade made me work and be patient. But all right, enjoy this footage in my trade, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
One of the things that you're going to hear me say a lot in the videos, the boring parts that most people don't like to hear, is that you have to understand yourself, know yourself, and, or as it's said many ways, it's know thyself. And unfortunately, that's an endeavor that most of us don't want to do, but that's a very critical part of finding consistency. It's very hard for young men to encounter this, and they resist it. They want to hold the opportunity to blame someone else or something else as the outward interference to them succeeding, not them just simply not doing what's required or expected. And there's no shortcuts, and I don't sugarcoat it at all. And unfortunately, that turns off a lot of people because they want it right now, real quick and short to the point. And they discover, chasing other approaches or shorter methods that promise, profitability, they can't do it. They might have flash in the pan one hit wonders here and there, but that's not consistency. And my aim as a mentor is to teach you how to find your consistency, not mimic mine or try to keep up with other people on social media, but you're trying to find your own lane and stay in it. So the way you do that is understanding and determining, very painfully for most people, what your personal weaknesses are. And that's an ugly area in everyone's life that we want to try to pretend doesn't exist, because every one of us have a weakness. Every single one of us has a frailty, something that brings a reason for ruin. And I mentioned I don't know if it was two spaces ago, where I covered, like, for young men, if their personal relationships are always plagued with drama and such, your trading's going to be very bad, because you're not being responsible in your relationship, and you're going to bring those same character flaws into a method of making money that requires discipline. You have to be like a machine. Like, you have to be so objective about what it is you're doing and understanding where you will mess up, what makes it or what invites recklessness in you. And as a young man, I didn't want to identify on any of those things initially, when I had many reasons to have that. Failed marriage, troubled upbringing, parents didn't want have anything to do with me, and I used all those things as a chip on my shoulder, and I wanted to have an instant gratification in the marketplace to replace that pain, and it doesn't work that way. And unfortunately, a lot of the sugar-coated shit that you see in this industry kind of caters to that. Hey, buy my course, buy my shit. I'll teach you how to trade in 2 months or 3 months, and you'll be able to make a lot of money and be part of the 1% crowd. And you find that that's not true, because they themselves haven't even mastered themselves. The teachers, the educators, but they put this mask on, hide it. I don't ever wear a mask like that. I literally come out here, and every time I talk to you, I'm talking from real world experience, embarrassments, failures, things I've done, blown accounts. I don't ever hide any of that stuff, because you all have to endure those types of things and figure out what it is that's going to cause you ruin, what is going to derail you. And before you can ever find winning consistency in your trades, you have to identify those character flaws. Many of you might be using alcohol. Many of you might be doing drugs, recreational or whatever you want to call it. That's going to have an impediment in your ability to be consistent, because you're changing the state of your focus, your lucidness. You're not going to be at optimal levels if you're doing things like that.